Hello everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I of course am Diego, and today we're going to continue to talk about High Fidelity. That's right, High Fidelity, that wonderful movie from 2000, okay? I absolutely adore this movie. I love this movie. It is a part of my new segment called Chick-Flicks for Dudes, or Chick-Flicks for Guys, okay? And what I do here is basically, I'm going to talk about a movie that basically is a chick flick, but it's made for men, okay? So it deals with all the same tropes that your typical chick flick deals with. It deals with romance, longing, lust, rejection, heartbreak, cheating, falling in love, finding the one, all that kind of shit that usually is reserved for the chick flick genre, okay, the romantic comedies, okay, those kind of movies, okay. But in this case, it's the guy as the main character. Now, this has been done in romantic comedies before. They had guys as the main characters. So the problem is that I'm fucking sorry, but Hugh Grant is not exactly my idea of a guy, okay. So that shit doesn't fucking work, all right. Usually when they make a rom-com with a guy as the main character, he basically acts like a fucking girl. Okay, he acts like a fucking girl in those movies, all right? So it's not believable. It's not, it doesn't make guys want to see the movie, is what I'm talking about, okay? So basically, this movie breaks all those rules, okay? This is a guy's love story from a guy's point of view, okay? And it's going to show you the stuff that guys have to put up with in the relationship. It's based, now you're going to see our side of the story, okay? Because the chick flicks are always the woman's side of the story. Even when there's two main characters, it's still the woman's side of the story, okay? Not in this case. In this case, you're getting the guy's side of the story, and they're playing by guys' rules. It means that he still acts like a guy. He still thinks like a guy, and not a fucking stupid guy, although he makes a lot of stupid decisions, okay? Nobody's perfect. And that's another aspect. It's the believability, okay? The verisimilitude that this could happen to you, because basically the main character in this movie is portraying your typical average guy. And the things that he thinks about, things he's afraid of, things that he wants, it's all in there, okay? How he deals with the things that you never see guys deal with in the movies, okay? Guy movies don't deal with this stuff, and women don't want to watch a guy deal with the things that they go through, okay? So this is kind of like out there, okay? It was independently funded. It was produced by John Cusack, the star of the movie. He's from Chicago, so the movie takes place in Chicago, okay? And basically, we're going to deal with the human emotions, men's emotions, straight, heterosexual, white men's emotions when it comes to dating women. Basically, it's kind of like a Sex in the City, but for guys, okay? Unfortunately, you only get one guy's point of view here, but hey, it's a start. It's something, okay? Now, this movie was produced by Touchstone Pictures, which is a department of Disney. They don't exist anymore, okay? But it was basically an independent film. Independent film, very, very cheaply made, okay? A lot of movie stars have cameos in here, okay? John Cusack is the main character, so he gets the most screen time, okay? One of the things I love about this movie, High Fidelity, is that John Cusack, besides playing the average guy, okay, he actually talks to the camera the way I'm talking to you right now. He does that throughout the entire movie. The book is in the first person, so he does the movie, excuse me, in the first person. Now, I did some research and I found out the reason they decided to do that was because of this movie called Alfie. Okay, no, not the one with Jude Law, okay, which came out like right after this, or like a year after this. No, not that one. Okay, the original Alfie, which came out in the 60s, starred Michael Caine. Okay, that was like the second movie that he did that was like, I think the first movie Michael Caine did that like put him on the map was Zulu. Okay, and that was in the early 60s. And the next movie he did was Alfie. And that was a rom-com from the 60s, a British rom-com from the 60s. And he's basically a male gigolo. He talks to the camera throughout the entire movie, okay? So he's talking to you, the viewer, throughout the entire movie, okay? So they decided to go with that aspect, and that's why they filmed this movie in the first person. So at many different times in the movie, I'd say at least half of the movie, he's talking to the audience. He's breaking the fourth wall. He's talking to you, which I think is cool. It's more intimate that way. It's more personal that way. Instead of seeing a movie about a guy and his love life, okay, you're basically talking to your friend and watching him as he progresses through his own love life, which I think is a little bit more intimate, which adds to the relatability of the character and the movie overall. Okay, so I thought that was a great aspect of the movie. I'm glad they did that because, like I said, the novel itself, written by Nick Hornsby, which takes place in London, England, doesn't take place in America, okay, was written in the first person, okay? So I think that was a great aspect. I'm glad they did that. Okay, moving right along. Okay, so in the last video, we talked about some of the girls that he's been dating. The last one we talked about was Penny Hardwick. Penny Hardwick was a girl that he met in high school, okay? They were always making out, but he could never get to second base or third base, okay? He could never get past first base. They kissed, and that's the most they went. So he broke up with her. He broke up with her because she wouldn't go all the way. Okay, he was frustrated, but they're both teenagers, they're both kids, they're both scared, okay? So she broke up with him, okay, and then later on, he's in science class and there's this other guy, this Alpha Chad guy, that's bragging about how he fucked her. I'm pretty sure he knew full well that the guy he was talking to was her ex-boyfriend, okay? But he's bragging about how he fucked her after like the third date. And meanwhile, Rob's thinking to himself, oh my God, I dated her for how long? And she never even let me touch her titties. you know. But here's this guy she gave it, she spread her legs for him after 3 dates. What the fuck? And this guy's an asshole. At least, you know, now Rob Gordon is kind of an asshole, okay? When I first saw the movie 20 years ago, I didn't think he was an asshole. I related to him completely, okay? Not only did he fucking think the way I did, okay, that he go through the same emotions that I did, that he thought about dating the same way I did. He lived in my fucking neighborhood. This movie was filmed in my neighborhood in Chicago, okay? So he even lived in the same neighborhood I did, okay? So I related to this guy a lot. And here he is, hearing from this asshole, okay, who I now realize Rob was a bit of an asshole himself, okay, but no, hey, nobody's perfect. He's not an evil person. He makes mistakes, okay. You know, he actually how do you think he feels? He feels this alpha Chad fucked her after 3 days. He never even got to fuck her, and he was in love with her. And supposedly she was in love with him. I mean, she felt really hurt when he broke it off with her. So obviously she had feelings for him. She loved kissing him. She had no problem with that. So it's not like she was disgusted by him, or maybe he didn't turn her on, but for some reason, you know, she didn't want to fuck him. Okay, and that hurt his pride, that hurt his self-esteem. You know, it sucks. Girls, you're not going to understand this because you don't know what it's like to be a guy. Okay, but let me tell you something about high school. Okay, at least junior high for me. Okay, and I already told the story about the 13-year-old girl with the big titties I was in love with in 7th grade. I'm not going to go back there again, but I will tell you this. Okay, when you're 14, 15, 16 years old in high school and you're a boy and you're still a virgin, you know, you're kind of like a laughing stock at school, okay? You're considered a simp, an incel, okay? You're the kind of girl that nobody wants to fuck. And it really sucks because a lot of these guys, most of the guys I would say, that are 15 and still a virgin, okay? The reason they're not, it's not because they're unattractive, okay, although some of them are, okay? It's not because they're you know, stupid or something, or they got no game, you know, or, you know, it's just that they're afraid, okay? They're afraid to pursue relationships, okay? Because, you know, especially in high school, okay, you know, the guy has to, unless you're the popular kid at school, which very few guys are, if you're not the popular kid at school, if you're not the rich kid at school, if you're not the kid driving a Trans Am to school, okay, or you're not in the football team, or you're not in the fucking, the leader of the glee club, okay, or any of that shit, if you're not popular, if you're not class president or some shit like that, guess what? Okay, girls aren't gonna hit on you. They're not gonna approach you, okay? You're gonna have to approach them. And that takes a level of confidence. And if you're not used to it, which most 15-year-olds are not used to hitting on girls, they're not. They're kind of scared. I mean, they want to fuck a girl, but they're afraid of getting rejected. So what do? They just shut down. They just don't do it. Or if they hit on a girl, it'll be awkward, you know, or whatever. Okay, and because they don't want to risk that rejection, they don't want to, you know, they don't want to be afraid that if they actually talk to a girl, the girl's going to reject them. You know, it's very hard for them to come up with the courage to actually approach a girl. Okay, it's easier if you're a boy that's 15, never gotten laid or whatever. But if you have like older brothers or uncles or male role models that, they can teach you how to do. They can teach you how to deal with the fear so that it doesn't stop you in life. But if you don't have that, you're raised by a fucking single mom, okay, and your older brother's gay, okay, or you got a sister, so she ain't gonna give you no fucking help, you know. Then no, dude, you're fucking on your own. You better have some friends that fucking know how to get laid and they can teach you how to fucking talk to girls. And if you don't have that, you're fucked. You're fucked. Okay, you're jerking off until college. Okay, and it sucks because guys, ladies, you know, I know that girls judge each other on shit too. I'm not taking anything away from that. But what I'm telling you here is that guys in high school judge boys on shit too. Okay, they judge boys on shit. Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, if you're not getting laid in high school, the popular kids already know it. They already know you're not getting laid. They're gonna make fun of you. Okay, and not only that, the girls are gonna make fun of you too. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks to be a boy. Okay, it absolutely sucks. It's not easy. I'm sure it's not easy for girls either. I'm not saying it is. Okay, but I'm saying it sucks to be a boy because of some of this shit. There's a social stigma. Like, look at me. At 12 years old, I was in love with comic books. I was in love with comic books and that fucking bitch that sat across from me in history class, okay? Well, obviously, she fucking made fun of me. She treated me like shit. She played a practical joke on me. That hurt my fucking feelings, all right? That spread out through a whole school. Okay, and girls, hot girls, okay, that I never even spoke to, okay, would come up to me and make fun of me because they knew of that. They knew what had happened. They knew that I was how dare I fucking, this nerd, comic book nerd that I was, how dare I go up to a hot girl in school and ask her out on a date? What the fuck is wrong with me? You know, I need to learn my place. You see what I mean? So there's a lot of elitism, a lot of classism, and it's better you learn this early on in your life because this is the way it is in the real world. Okay? Once you get older, high school, junior high is there to prepare you for the real world. In the real world, no matter what you fucking say and how everyone's equal, that's all bullshit. Okay, some people are more equal than others. Okay, and there's people out there that get more respect than they'll give you. Okay, that's just the way of the world. Okay, you can't change the rules. You can only navigate your way through it. Okay, so if you're gonna survive this world, you're gonna have to learn how to roll with the punches. You're gonna have to learn how to fucking develop some sort of self-fucking fortitude, so that you don't end up some guy in his 30s whining about some girl that fucking broke his heart fucking 20 years ago. Fuck that noise. Okay, that's no life. Okay, you're depriving yourself, okay, of a fulfilling, happy relationships, okay, fulfilling, happy sex life, okay, because you won't fucking let go of the past. You got to get rid of that shit. Someone needs to kick you in the ass and tell you, fuck all that noise. No one tells you who you are. You tell yourself who you are, and if you don't like who you are, then you fucking do something about it. No one's gonna do that for you. No girl's gonna make you into a fucking stud. Okay, no guy's gonna make you. You've got to fucking do that on your own. And if you don't know how, you got to find people that know how and learn from them. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, that way when you make it there, if you make it there, if you don't give up and you make it there, okay, you know goddamn well that you fucking earned that shit. That's yours. Nobody can take that away from you. It's true. Anyway, moving right along. For all you guys that joined me, if you needed a pep talk, there it was. Okay, now for you ladies that are out there, I know, and you probably fast forwarded all that shit. But anyway, the point is here we're talking about high fidelity, okay? Obviously, I do not censor myself, so if you're easily offended, get the fuck out right now, okay? I'm gonna tell you the truth. I got nothing to gain by lying to you, okay? The real question to ask yourself is, can you handle it? Can you handle the truth? Because I don't think you can. I don't think you can. I'm gonna give it to you straight up, baby, with no lube, all right? So let's continue here with high fidelity. All right, now where we left off last time, I finished talking about Penny Hardwick, the girl that wouldn't give it up to him, then she gave it up to that asshole, okay? So he's still kind of crying about it. Rob Gordon, he owns a record store in Chicago, in Wicker Park, my neighborhood, okay? He owns a record store there, and his girlfriend just broke up with him, so he's dealing with all this fucking heartache. He's dealing with this depression. She broke up with him that morning. She already moved out of the fucking apartment. He couldn't stop her from leaving. So he's having an emotional breakdown. He's acting all angry and sad. And the reason he acted angry is because he's hiding the fact that he's heartbroken, he's hurt. You know that feeling you get when your heart just drops? Okay, well, he's going through that right now. And so that he doesn't give himself panic attacks, he's talking to us and he's fucking distracting himself at work, okay? So anyway, so where we're at right now is he's walking to work here. He's wearing his headphones and his leather jacket like I used to wear, okay? His store is on the corner of Milwaukee and Owner. Okay, now the actual address, okay, is 1511 North Milwaukee. Okay, now that's kind of right around the corner from my apartment. Now, I don't know where Rob's apartment is. I couldn't really tell from the little bit of the scenes that I saw, but it's in my neighborhood. Okay, I kind of, the buildings look familiar. That 3-window alcove that every fucking apartment in Chicago has is right there, you know. So the one where he opens the window to scream at his girlfriend. Okay, I had a window just like that, but I lived on the 2nd floor. He obviously lives on the 3rd floor. So, but it's in my neighborhood, okay? So he's walking to work over there. I don't think he owns a car. And like I said, the record store is there. It's called Championship Vinyl in the movie. Now, in real life, that location right there, I think they just made the outside look like a record store, but the inside is obviously a studio. Okay, it's a studio somewhere. Okay, they filmed that on a studio. Okay, but the exteriors, okay, the actual place that he's standing in front of is a bar called Nick's Beer Garden. It's a bar that I got shit-faced at many times. Okay, like I said, it's my neighborhood. It's a neighborhood bar. Okay, I was in my 20s. A lot of us, you know, we just went out and got shit-faced. Okay, and we did some other things too. But anyway, the point is that I know the neighborhood, and it's a bar called Nick's Beer Garden. It's still there today. If you want to go, I saw it there when I was there a year and a half ago, you know, when I was visiting Chicago last year. Okay, it's still there. Okay. There's actually a better bar around the corner called Double Door, okay? And we'll get to that too. I used to go to that one too because I had live bands there. I had a stage, I had live bands. But anyway, okay, so moving right along. So he goes in there and he's unlocking the store. He's going to open for business. It's Monday morning. He's opening the store for business like he always does, okay? So he's talking to us the entire time, okay? So he gets there. Like I said, the name of the store is called Championship Vinyl. Okay, he tells the audience, says, my store is in the neighborhood. Is it my store is located in a neighborhood that attracts the least amount of window shoppers? Okay, so he's like, I make my living. I make my living from mostly selling to young men who make an effort to go out of their way to come to this store. Okay, for deleted Smith singles and original, not re-released, underlined, Frank Zappa albums. Okay, so basically this guy's a fucking musical nerd. He's always got a top 5 list of everything, a top 10 list of everything. Penny Hardwick, the girl I just mentioned before, he remembered her top 5 favorite musical artists and he named them out loud, okay? So yeah. Everything in him is a fucking Billboard top 5, top 10 list. Okay, for him, that's just the way his mind thinks, and I can respect that. I'm not that way, but I have friends that are like that. Oh, absolutely. Okay, and a guy like Rob Gordon is definitely somebody that I could relate to, especially back then when I was younger. Okay, now John Cusack's older than me, so when he did this movie, he was in his early 30s, and I was still in my 20s. Okay, so he is older than me. Okay, but when I was in my 20s, yeah, I was a lot like that too. Okay, just the whole attitude, just being in the neighborhood, the way I dressed. The things we talked about, absolutely. Now, the way John Cusack, the way Rob Gordon is with music and records, that's the way I am with comic books, okay? With comic books and superhero movies and stupid ass pop culture. I am a fucking wealth of useless knowledge in here, okay? I win a lot of Trivial Pursuit games, all right? I do, all right? Because I just know a lot of fucking stupid ass shit. I can tell you who fucking directed the Beverly Hills. I can tell you who Jethro was on the Beverly Hillbillies, okay? His dad was a fucking, a prize fighter, okay? His dad was Max Baer, okay, the bad guy from Cinderella Man. You see, did you know that? No, you didn't, okay? So, just things like that. I have a wealth of useless knowledge, okay? So that's why I love doing this YouTube channel. So it gives me a chance to let you know some of the things that I know. Okay, but that's the way Rob Gordon is with his music. Okay, he understands records, vintage records. Okay, because you got to remember this movie takes place in 2000. Okay, and there were no records back then. Okay, people had abandoned the record player a good 10 years earlier. Okay, so nobody had a record player anymore. Your parents had a record player, but you didn't have a record player because nobody listened to fucking records anymore. We had CDs now. Okay, and some diehards still had audio cassettes. I know I still had audio cassettes. Okay, and I used to make my own tapes. Okay, yeah, still do. Still got them right here. Okay, but. Okay, but there was no iPads no iPhones back then. There was no Pandora, no YouTube Music. None of that shit existed back then. Okay, so people still had Walkmans with cassettes in them, with headphones. And okay, not Bluetooth. There was no Bluetooth back then. Okay, and so yeah, it was old school. All right, but even records were even old school back when this movie came out. Okay, so it's kind of weird that he's selling records, which is basically a medium that nobody was using anymore. Now the records did come back, but it's because of movies like this that brought records back. Okay, like I said, there's much superior forms of music now, like CDs, and digital music. I mean, it's all better now. It sounds better now. Remember, records got the scratchy noise. Okay, so he was basically selling in a market that was dead. Okay, he's selling to a dead market. So you've got to be a diehard fucking record buff to even fucking want to buy a record, much less find a store that only sells records. Okay, so you got to go out of your way to find his store. Okay, I thought that's kind of cool. It's kind of a niche. Okay, now it's a mom and pop type shop. Okay, which don't exist anymore, unfortunately. Everything's fucking online now, eBay and Amazon. Okay, all this shit he sells there, you can easily buy it on fucking eBay for pretty fucking cheap. That's how I still got my record collection. I already bought back all the records I had in the 70s when I was a toddler that my folks used to listen to, that I used to listen to all the time. I already bought all those back on eBay really fucking cheap. Okay, so, it's easy now, but back then it wasn't so easy. Anyway. Moving right along, so he's opened up the store and he's talking to us. He tells us that his clientele base is mostly young men who are looking for, Smith singles and original, not re-released, underlined Frank Zappa albums. Okay, so he walks in the store, he unlocks the gate. He goes in there, okay, he's listening to music, okay, while walking to work, okay, of course, on his headphones. Holy shit, like I said, when he's walking to work, I'm listening to my headphones too, okay? My headphones weren't as big as his, okay? I had the Walkman headphones, okay? But yeah, I know what it's like to just walk down the street in Chicago, with my sunglasses, my slicked hair, my leather jacket, my walk phones, just fucking in my own world. I'm probably listening to the fucking Saturday Night Fever soundtrack and walking down, my backpack, just walking around just like the cool guy, I'm pretending I'm fucking John Travolta from fucking Saturday Night Fever. Anyway, so he walks in there, he listens to his music, and I totally relate to that because I did that too. Another weird thing is when I spoke to my dad last year when I went to go visit him, he told me he's did the same fucking shit in the 1960s that I was doing in the 90s. Walking down the street in Chicago, just fucking listening to his fucking music. Oh my God, man. And I learned that recently. Anyway, moving right along. It's not about me. Okay, so Rob says fetish properties, like his record store, are like porn. He makes the analogy that they're just like porn. He's like, I'd feel guilty taking their money if, I wasn't one of them. It's like a guy that fucking, who makes porn for a living and feels bad that he's making all this adult content for guys to jerk off rather than for them to actually get a real girl and jerk off inside them. But he would feel bad about it. But well, he jerks off to porn too, so he's one of them. Okay, which is cool. He's actually one of the guys that would go to a fucking store like this. All right. Okay, so he says that, you know. Okay, all of a sudden this other guy walks in the door. It's Dick. His name is Dick. He's a skinny beta male, very skinny, bald guy. Okay, very soft spoken. Hello, hi Rob. How are you doing today? You know, by the way, I made you this tape. I was wondering if you had a chance to listen to it. You know, because I'd really like to play it for you if you want me to. You know, just like that, beta male all the fucking way, okay? But he's a nice guy. I mean, he's a nice guy, and he puts up a lot of shit without losing his temper. I don't think he has a temper to lose, honestly. He keeps offering to make Rob a tape, okay, of some obscure record, okay? But Rob, you know, now Dick doesn't know this, but Rob's girlfriend broke up with him that morning, so he's in no mood to listen to fucking music or to be nice to anybody or to fucking, you know, be happy, put on a happy face, you know? He's not in the mood for that shit. He's depressed. Okay, he's upset. His mind is distracted by this breakup. His heart is broken. You know, he's angry. He feels bad. He feels sorry. If there was anything else, if he wasn't the owner of the store, he wouldn't have even gone to work that day. Okay, but he feels really like shit. So he doesn't want to hear nothing from anybody. But at the same time, he doesn't want to tell them what happened because he's embarrassed. Okay, you know that his girlfriend dumped him because everybody knows that his girlfriend lives with him. They don't know that they broke up this morning. Okay. So he's hurt, okay? He's hurt, and he doesn't want to fucking entertain this guy. Even though he's a nice guy, he doesn't want to listen to his music. He's just fucking, you know, just leave me alone. I don't really want to, you know? He's like, well, what about that tape I made? He's like, no, I haven't quite absorbed that one yet. Now, one thing I want to say about Rob in this scene here, when he takes off his jacket, we can clearly see that he is wearing a fucking Cosby sweater, okay? Now, what is a Cosby sweater, okay? Back in the 1980s, there was a popular TV show called The Cosby Show, okay? With Bill Cosby, yes, before he went to prison for fucking, for putting date rape drugs in women's drinks, before he went to prison for that, he's out now, by the way. Yeah, how's that for justice? But anyway, yeah, before we knew he was doing that, okay, he had one of the most popular TV shows on television. Okay, he owned, I think it was what, Tuesday night that he owned it on NBC. He just owned it, okay? Like everybody watched the Cosby Show. Even white people watched the Cosby Show, okay? It was about a black family, a rich upper class black family living in New York, okay? And he was the dad, obviously, he was the patriarch of the family, okay? But really, it was the mom, Felice Rashad, that fucking was the real boss in that house, okay? She was always berating him, you know, putting him down, whatever. In a nice way, but clearly she was the one that made the decision. She was the strong one. She was the alpha, not him, okay? And he was just this dumb old fucking dad. You know, he's a doctor, but he was like, hey, when you want to do the jello pudding pops, you know, he was making all the fucking dad jokes, and he would fucking make this stupid dance, you know, like Bill Cosby does. But he would always wear these fucking sweaters that were fucking ridiculous, okay? That zigzag stripes on them, that stars on them, that flowers on them. They just look fucking stupid as fuck. In every episode, he would wear a different fucking sweater, okay? That you just fucking couldn't take your eyes off it. It was hurting my vision. Okay, it just stole every scene that he was in. You couldn't get your eyes off the fucking sweater. What sweater is he gonna wear in this episode? That became a thing on the show. Okay, the Cosby sweater. Okay, well that's what Rob's wearing right now. He's wearing a fucking Bill Cosby sweater, okay? It just says, look at me. Don't pay attention to my face. Don't pay attention. Just look at the fucking sweater and try to comprehend how something like this could fucking exist, much less how a guy could be wearing it. But anyway. Yeah, it boggles the mind, okay? He's wearing that, okay? So I just couldn't help but notice it, okay? And it does get called out later on, okay? So that's going on here, okay? Like I said, Rob's not in the mood to listen to anything, okay? Okay, and finally, Rob asked Dick what they're listening to is a sad song over the speaker system. They control the music in the store, okay? There's a cassette player behind the counter, and you put a cassette in there, and then the whole store will play whatever music you put in there, okay? So right now, Dick put his fucking tape in there, and we're listening to fucking suicide music, basically, some slow, you know, and Rob's like, what are we listening to? What's playing right now? And Dick, okay, he's working, he's like, it's Bella and Sebastian, do you like it? You know, I'm kind of thinking that Dick is gay, but later on we find out he's not, but I'm kind of thinking he leans that way, okay? Okay, and then all of a sudden Barry walks in. Okay, now Barry is played by the world famous Jack Black. We all know who Jack Black is, okay? We've all seen Kung Fu Panda. We've all seen fucking the Jumanji movies, okay? Jack Black, School of Rock. Everybody knows Jack Black. Well, this was like the first movie that I remember him in, that everyone, this was the movie that made Jack Black a thing. Okay, this is the movie that highlighted him for the rest of the world. He'd been acting since he was a kid. Like I said in another video, I saw him doing toy commercials back in the 80s when he was a kid, you know, so he's been acting, he's been doing it for a long time, okay? But he just shows up, okay? And Jack Black is this short, fat, pudgy guy, but he's just like a ball of annoying personality, okay? You know Jack Black. Have you seen Nacho Libre? Of course, okay? He brings that. He just comes in there, you know, just fucking, you know, just a big ball of fucking personality. Okay, he walks in the door and he's air guitaring, you know, just air guitaring like fucking Bill and Ted. Okay, and then all of a sudden he stops and he's like, he listens to the fucking music. He's like, what the fuck is this shit? And Rob's like, it's the Belle and Sebastian song that we've been enjoying all morning. And Barry just walks towards the fucking counter. He's like, well, that's unfortunate because it sucks ass. He pulls it out. He pulls it out. He looks over at Dick. He's like, yours, I assume, and fucking throws it at him. And then he pulls out his whoop. He's got a tape in his pocket. That's the kind of guys these are, okay? These are guys that carry tapes, emergency tapes in their pocket so they can listen to fucking music that they like, okay? So he pulls out his tape and he puts it in there, presses play, and it's like, boom, boom, boom. It's Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves. Okay, we all know that song. I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa. Okay, we all know that song. Okay, it's been in a lot of commercials. It's from 1983. I remember it when I was a little kid. Okay, Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves. And he's got a full blast. I mean, the whole fucking store is just blasting with this song. Thank God there's no customers in there. Okay, and Rob's like, oh. He does not want to hear this shit. Okay, he's going through his depression and he wants to feel his depression. He wants to feel suicidal. He wants to feel hopeless. He wants to fucking feel like life doesn't matter. Okay, like his life is worthless and that no one will ever love him. He wants to be there. He doesn't want to fucking get out of that. He wants to stay there. And in a lot of ways, he's been wanting to stay there his whole fucking life. Okay, it wasn't this girl Laura that broke his heart. He was already there before he ever met Laura, in my opinion. And I want to condemn him and I want to come grow some fucking balls, you goddamn pussy, and quit crying about some fucking skirt. But I would feel bad about that because I'm kind of like the same way, like him. At least I was back then. So yeah, I can't really blame him for doing the exact same thing that I would do. So, you know, I got nothing. So anyway, so yeah, he doesn't want to hear this shit, okay? Even though it's a great song, and I wish they had played the whole thing, because I love that song. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie, you know? I'm walking on sunshine, whoa! I used to manage this nightclub in Chicago a few years later on, okay? A couple years later after I saw this movie. And we used to play a lot of oldies and things, and we were the most popular club in Chicago, okay? It was called The Hang Up. Now, those of you who are from Chicago, it's still there. It's been around since the 70s, okay? The Hang Up is on Rush Street, okay? It's on Elm Street, okay, right there on Rush, okay, Division and Rush, okay, which is where all the little clubs are there, live bands, you know, DJs, all that kind of stuff, okay. It's a very popular club, and the reason that the nightclub was so popular that I managed was because we used to play a lot of oldies songs, oldies but goodies, okay, songs that you remember, okay. We played a lot of Bon Jovi, we played a lot of fucking like Neil Diamond, Sweet Caroline, we played that every fucking night, you know, we played Ice Ice Baby every night, we played this song, Walking on Sunshine, we played Stuck in the Middle with You by Steeler Wheels, we played all that shit, all that popular oldies shit that everybody remembers, okay? You know, Baby Got Back. We played all that oldies shit, okay? Even Village People. We played that shit too, okay? So people liked it because it was fun music. It was fun oldies music. So a lot of young people would come in and we'd have a good time, you know? It was fun. It's very fun. So whenever I think about this song, I think about that club that I used to manage, right? The Hang Up in Chicago. And yeah, it's still there. It's still there. Okay, so anyway, so that's going on here. He's over there blasting this music. Okay, and Rob's like, turn it off! Turn it off! And Jack Black's like, it won't go any louder. So Rob's like, goes up there and he jumps over the counter. Okay, and he hurts himself doing it. I think he hurts his leg. He's like, oh, fuck. And Jack Black leaves the counter because Rob's coming for him. Okay, and he goes over and he just starts dancing, you know, he starts doing the... And then he starts doing okay, now when I do it, I look stupid, okay? But when Jack Black does it, it's funny. It's funny, okay? You gotta see it, okay? It's hilarious, all right? So he's doing all this stupid ass shit, okay? Okay, and he kills the music. He kills the music. Now, obviously, Barry does not know why Rob is in such a bad mood. It's because his girlfriend dumped him. Barry does not know that. But he's like, hey, I was just trying to cheer us up. But go ahead, go play your sad bastard music. See if I care. You know, and Rob's like, I just want to listen to something that I can ignore. Okay, now another thing I want to say about this movie is he smokes a lot, okay? There's lots of characters in the movie that are smoking cigarettes all the fucking time. I think this is like the 7th cigarette we've seen, and we're only like maybe 10, 15 minutes into the movie, okay? They smoke a lot in this movie, okay? A lot of cigarettes. You can't do that today, okay? There's like rules about don't show people smoking in movies anymore, okay? But back then it wasn't like that, okay? And I would condemn them for all of goddamn smoking, but I'm not going to because I used to smoke back then too. So, like I said, I relate to this movie very well. All right, so yeah, he smokes inside his own fucking store. He's smoking in there, okay? His own fucking store he's lighting up. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, times have changed. Times have changed. All right, so that's going on. He tells her, I just want music that I want to ignore, okay? Okay, and Barry's like, I made that tape as a special Monday morning gift for you. And Rob's like, it's Monday afternoon, get up earlier. And Barry's like, come on. Play it! Don't you want to hear what's on the other side? Don't you want to hear what the next song is? Come on, play it. He's like, okay, it's Little Latin Loopy Loo. At that cue, Dick looks over at him and says like, Mitch Ryder in the Detroit Whales? And Jack Black's like, no! Righteous Brothers. Okay. Hey, I'd never even heard of that song, okay? I had to look it up, all right? It's this old fucking pot. Now, Righteous Brothers are famous because they sang Unchained Melody. That's the love song from Ghost, okay? They're famous for that, okay? But one of their lesser-known songs was Little Latin Loopy Loo. It came out in the 60s, okay? It's just like a dance hit. It's like a dance, but it doesn't really have that much of a beat. It's kind of stupid, one of those stupid ass songs like Do the Twist or, you know, Do the Freaky Deaky or Let's Do the Mess Around. It's like one of those stupid ass dance songs, okay? Yeah, I'd never even heard of it before. I thought it was a fake song when I saw the movie, then I looked it up. No, it's a real song by the Righteous Brothers. Like, I had no idea there was more than one version of it though, because it's not that good. But you can listen to it if you want. I listened to it recently, it's okay. No big deal. Okay. So anyway, but Jack Black's pissed off. Now you're gonna know something about Jack Black's character Barry here. He's always picking on Dick. He's always picking on Dick. Dick's, like I say, Dick's a beta male. And Jack Black acts like he's an alpha male, but he's really not. Okay, he's really just a fucking pussy. If you push him, he will not push back. He just acts like he's all big and bad. And then when you resist him, he'll back away. Okay, so, you know, so basically, they're all pussies. Okay, and I would condemn them for that if, well, I was kind of like that too back then, so. Hey, you know, hey, I didn't have all the knowledge and experience that I have now back then, okay? So yeah, now I wasn't like them. I'm more like Rob. Okay? Now, I love to fight. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a coward like that, okay? I love to fight, okay? It's gotten me in trouble sometimes, okay? But as far as, like, you know, dealing with my emotions, I'll be more afraid to do that, okay? I would shut up like Rob's doing this movie. I wouldn't want to talk to my friends about it because I wouldn't want to project weakness because I didn't even know how to process it, much less how do I hide it from them, you know? It's just a thing. It's just a guy thing. It's pride. Pride will get you in so much trouble, okay? And that's what he's doing right now. He's trying to put up a front in front of them. He's trying to act like he's mad, okay, like he was earlier when his girlfriend dumped him. But the truth is he's heartbroken, he's sad, he's hurt. He doesn't know how to communicate that to his friends, his employees, okay? So, yeah, so he's just trying to cover it up, okay? And, yeah, and then, yeah, that's what we do sometimes, okay? When we're embarrassed that we're feeling the way we are, we don't want to tell anyone about it, okay? We want to kind of get it together and then talk about it, okay? It's true. Anyway. Okay, well, I'm going to stop my review right here, but I'll be back very soon. I will continue my review of High Fidelity. I thank you very much for watching this long, and I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.